So the characters, so the lineages are actually replacing races. So it says here, at first level, you choose whether your character is a member of the human race or of one of the game's fantastical races. Alternatively, you can choose one of the following lineages. And just in case you're not aware, in Curse of Strahd, they had an issue with the Vistani, which is a group of people in that book that are very much inspired by Romanian gypsies, and in the book they make it sound that all of them are bad, all of them are evil. And obviously with race issues in the world at the moment and stuff like that, painting one group or race of people with that brush is not okay. So this is Dungeons and Dragons way of changing it from race to lineage. I just think using the word lineage is gonna help them with that problem as well, because rather than saying because you are this race you are this type of person, they're changing it to say this is your background rather than your straight up race. So yeah, it looks like it is replacing races, which I assume later books will do very similar as well. Maybe even if they do a Player's Handbook 2.0 or Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, maybe they're actually just going to abolish the idea of races altogether and change it into this lineage idea. Oh, very nice. So Arclight is saying that he's running a Victorian Eberron horror homebrew. Very nice. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Let me know how that goes. How long have you been running it for? Is it new, or have you been running it for a little while? Okay, so when determining your ability score, increase those scores by 2, increase different score by 1 or 3. Okay, so this is just general stuff. So let's have a look at the Dhampir then. So what do they get? Does it just... Okay, so it does just list the traits. So there's a load of flavor text here as well. If you don't know what a Dhampir is, it is sort of like someone who is part vampire, is the easiest way to explain it. If I load up this picture, you can see a little bit of art there. Second session is next week. Well, good luck. I'm always really excited to run new games. That's one of my favourite parts, to be honest, especially with players who aren't as experienced, because they're the ones that throw curveballs at you the most. It also includes some roll table stuff to help you determine what your hunger is for and what your origin is. And it's also, so part of this book is going through all the domains of dread. So they're sort of like different dimensions, I guess is the easiest way to explain them. And this explains which of these domains of dreads you would most likely see Dhampirs in. So Barovia, which is the one from Curse of Strahd, Darkon, and Icarth. I haven't looked through the domains of dread yet, so I don't know anything about them. But I will look at that off stream probably, because there's quite a lot of them and quite a lot of stuff to read through. So, the Dhampir traits. So they're humanoid, you're medium or small. Okay, so that's interesting. You can choose a size when you gain their lineage, so you could choose to be small. They're 35 feet walking speed, which is 5 foot more than other races or other lineages. Ancestral Legacy. If you replace a race with this lineage, you can keep the following element of that race: any skill proficiency you gained from it and any climbing, flying or swimming speed you gained from it. If you don't keep any of those elements, or you choose this lineage at character creation, you gain proficiency in 2 skills of your choice. Okay, so if you were an elf, for example, and then you became a Dhampir, you can choose to keep some of the following elements of that race. So any skill proficiency and any climbing, swimming or flying speed, which is quite a nice idea. You get to keep some of your old races information, but if not, they've got a little thing here as well. So you've got dark vision, which is normal. You don't need to breathe. That's quite an interesting one. So you don't have to worry about being underwater or in places which are a vacuum, which is quite nice. So spider climb, you have a climb speed equal to your walking speed, and at 3rd level you can move up, down and across vertical surfaces and along upside down on ceilings while leaving your hands free. So you can actually walk on stuff, which is quite cool. You don't need all 4 of your limbs touching it, so that's quite nice as well. And then I assume this is the big one for the Dhampir, the Vampiric Bite. You get a bite as natural weapons. You make a simple melee attack, and you add your Constitution modifier instead of your Strength modifier to the attack and damage rolls. It deals 1d4 piercing on hit. While you're missing half or more of your hit points, you get advantage on the roll, which is quite nice as well. When you attack with this bite and hit a creature that isn't a construct or an undead, you can empower yourself with one of the followings. You regain hit points equal to the piercing damage dealt, or you gain a bonus to the next ability check or attack roll you make. The bonus equals the piercing damage dealt. That's interesting. I don't think stuff like that's happened before, where you get a bonus to your next ability check or attack roll, depending on how much damage you do to someone. So that's quite interesting. You empower yourself with this bite a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you gain all expended uses at long rest. So this is interesting. A lot of the natural weapons that are given to races, such as the Tabaxi, aren't really much better than just a weapon. They're just an alternative. But this is better than a dagger, for example. So in this picture, I believe the person has a dagger, so it'd actually be better for them to buy it than to use a dagger. So I quite like that. I like that they've added this little extra bit to make it better. And it's interesting that you can use your Constitution modifier as well instead of one of the normal modifiers like Strength or Dexterity. So yeah, all in all, a pretty cool first lineage. Let's see what the next one is about. So Hex Blood, we're once again gonna go through all of the flavor text and just go straight to the traits. So there's one roll table in this one, just like here, some information about the domains of dread it might turn up in. And so you are a Fae. So I thought their next book was actually going to be about the Feywild, because they have not done much about the Feywild at all in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons so far. So hopefully the next one will be, or maybe what's it called? I want to say Spellslinger, but that's not right. The one where there's spaceships in space and stuff like that. Once again, you're medium or small. You choose this when you gain this lineage. Right, so this is if you replace this again, you can keep one of the skill proficiencies, or climbing, flying, or swimming speed. If not, you get 2 proficiencies. So that's the exact same as the Dhampir. Dark Vision, everyone knows what that is by now, I believe. Eerie Token, as a bonus action, you can harmlessly remove a lock of your hair, one of your nails, or one of your teeth. I don't know how you can harmlessly remove one of your teeth, but okay. This token is imbued with magic until you finish a long rest. While the token is imbued in this way, you can take these actions. Telepathic Message. As an action, you can send a telepathic message to the creature holding or carrying the token, as long as they are within 10 miles of you. So you can give someone your tooth and then telepathically talk to them. Very disturbing. Remote Viewing. If you are within 10 miles of the token, you can enter a trance as an action. The trance lasts 1 minute, but it ends early if you dismiss it or are incapacitated. During this trance, you can see and hear from the tokens as if you are located where it is. While you are using your senses at the token's location, you are blinded and deafened in regard to your own surroundings. When the trance ends, the token is harmlessly destroyed. Once you create a token using this feature, you can't do so again after a long rest. So they're 2 quite nice features, I would say. Nothing massively, game breaking or that interesting to me. I definitely like the Dhampir better so far, but I can see there being some people that will really like that for their characters, especially if they have a character that's all around the idea of divination or control and stuff like that as well. I just need to very quickly make sure I actually posted about this on my Twitter. Yes, just done it. Perfect. Just in case people want to actually come and see. So you can also just cast Disguise Self and Hex spells with this trait. Once you cast either spell with this trait, you can't cast that spell with it again until you finish a long rest. You can also cast these spells using any spell slots you have. Okay, so that is extremely nice. Disguise Self is probably one of my favourite first level spells. Hex is a very well known and loved spell, especially by Warlocks. I think Warlocks are the only people that get it, in fact. So that is a very nice trait to have. And all in all as well, with Hex Blood, I like the flavour of it. The idea is they've got some ancestor with the hags, I believe, and they've got some hex magic within them. So yeah, Hex Blood created by a night hag would look like that. So I do like the flavour of it. I'm not sure, these two here are one of those things that will probably only come up a few times in a campaign. They won't be used every session. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe some people would like to use them every session, but this hex magic is very cool and is very nice. And there's a little section here about becoming a hag as well, so you can turn into a hag, which is cool. So it says if they do become a hag, they become an NPC, no longer under the control of the player, which you see that a few times in Curse of Strahd as well. KK, I think the Hex Blood sounds fun to play. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm going to like all three of these, to be honest. I like the whole horror feel, so is, yeah, probably going to be good for me. Okay, so the Reborn. So this is sort of a zombie undeady version, I believe. It's sort of like Frankenstein style thing. Yeah, manufactured bodies. This is quite cool art with the spectral arm in the back there and the spectral eye on the left hand side of the string. Some more domains of dread information. So you are a humanoid, you're medium or small. So all the top bit's the exact same. You've got walk speed of 30 feet. You do not get dark vision like the other two. Deathless nature. You have escaped death, a fact represented by the following benefits. You have advantage on saving throws against disease and being poisoned, and you have resistance to poison damage. So that's very nice. And that's also what dwarfs get. They get that exact same thing as well, I believe. You have advantage on death saving throws, so there's not many mechanics that change death saving throws, especially in classes and races and stuff like that. So that's interesting that they've added that as well. You don't need to eat, drink, or breathe. Very, very nice, I guess. That stops you having to worry about survival and stuff like that. You don't need to sleep, and magic can't put you to sleep. You can finish a long rest in 4 hours if those are spent in active, motionless state, during which you retain consciousness. Okay, so they're all very nice, and it all definitely fits the idea of that you're sort of undead to a degree. Arclight saying this is good if you kill a PC. Yeah, I assume you are talking about the becoming a hag bit. Yeah. Oh, no, you're talking about Reborn as well, so you can kill the PC and then they can come back as a Reborn. That is a very good idea, actually. I hadn't thought of that. So yeah, if you accidentally kill a PC, they could be rebuilt and then come back like this guy. All undead and not very well. Knowledge from a past life. You temporarily remember glimpses of the past, perhaps faded memories from ages ago or a previous life. When you make an ability check that uses a skill, you can roll a d6 immediately after seeing the number on the d20 and add the number on the d6 to the check. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you gain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So that is enhanced version of guidance, I believe, which is a cantrip that clerics get. It's an ability check that uses a skill. So yeah, that's pretty nice to have, and it is limited by the amount of times you can do it, equal to your proficiency bonus. But in theory, you could use guidance on top of this. So you could do a skill check, roll this d4, and have guidance on you, so you get an extra d4, and it can make it quite hard for you to roll anything less, especially if you're like a divination wizard or halfling that can't roll a 1, it makes it a bit harder for you to fail checks, I would say. So now we've read all 3 of them, I definitely think they all fit where they are supposed to. The Dhampir definitely makes you feel like a vampire by simply just giving you the Vampiric Bite and the Spider Climb. The Hex Blood, just giving you those 2 spells at the end, Disguise Self and Hex, is extremely nice. And there's some nice little parts here which connect you to hag sort of thing as well. And then the Reborn definitely feels very undead, especially because of all of the deathless nature features that you get here. And that knowledge from a past life is actually a pretty nice thing to have as well. So they are all very nice. I generally think you probably wouldn't use them unless you're running a horror or a Ravenloft style of campaign. Unless actually what Arclight said happens, you kill a PC and you need to bring them back somehow, you can turn them into a Reborn, which would be quite nice. But generally, unless your campaign revolves around like vampires or hags and stuff like that, you're probably not going to see many Dhampir or Hex Blood lineages. But it's always an option, and that is cool. I'd like saying that I wish they had a werewolf, bear, etc. Yeah, I don't think they've introduced that other than, so in the monster manual there is a little insert about if someone got the lycanthrope curse. But it's not much, it's not anywhere near the detail that they have here. But it's, yeah, just a little insert. But yeah, you're right, they definitely could have done that quite easily, I think, making the whole werewolf, werebear, were-rat kind of thing as well.